The life and sad ending of Glen Campbell. Glen Travis Campbell was born on April 22, 1936, in Billstown, a tiny community near Delight in Pike County, Arkansas, to John Wesley and Carrie Dell Campbell. Campbell was of Scottish and Irish descent and was the seventh son of 12 children. The family lived on a farm, where they barely managed, by growing cotton, corn, watermelons, and potatoes. Campbell started playing guitar at age 4 after his father gave him a Sears-bought $5 guitar as a gift, with his Uncle Boo teaching him the basics of how to play. Most of his family was musical, he said. Back home, everybody plays and sings. By the time he was 6, he was performing on local radio stations. Campbell continued playing guitar in his youth, with no formal training, and practiced when he was not working in the cotton fields. He developed his talent by listening to radio and records, and considered Django Reinhardt among his most admired guitarists, later calling him the most awesome player I ever heard. He dropped out of school at 14 to work in Houston alongside his brothers, installing insulation and later working at a gas station. Not satisfied with that kind of unskilled work, Campbell started playing music at fairs and church picnics and singing gospel hymns in the church choir. He was able to find spots performing on local radio stations, and after his parents moved to Houston, he made some appearances at a local nightclub. In 1954, at age 17, Campbell moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to join his uncle's band, known as Dick Bills and the Sandia Mountain Boys. He also appeared there on his uncle's radio show and on K-Circle B Time, the local children's program on Cobb television. It was there that he met his first wife, whom he married when he was 17 and she was 16. Campbell was married 4 times and fathered 6 sons and 3 daughters. In 1955, Campbell married Diane Marie Kirk at the Bernalillo County Courthouse. They had 2 children, Glen Travis Campbell Jr., who was born 2 months prematurely on July 25, 1955, and died a few days later, and Deborah K. Debbie. After a mandatory 12-month separation, they divorced in 1959. On September 20, 1959, Campbell married Billie Jean Nunley, an Albuquerque beautician, who gave birth to Kelly Glenn, William Travis, and Wesley Kane. Billie Campbell filed for divorce in 1975, and their divorce was final in 1976. On September 2, 1976, Campbell married singer Mac Davis' second wife, Sarah Jan Davis, in Carson City, Nevada. They had 1 child named Dylan and divorced in 1980. After his divorce from Sarah Barg Davis, Campbell began a relationship with fellow country artist Tanya Tucker. The relationship was marked by frequent tabloid gossip and articles. Campbell married Kimberly Kim Woolen in 1982. The couple met on a blind date in 1981 when Woolen was a Radio City Music Hall Rockette. Together, they had 3 children, Cal, Shannon, and Ashley. All 3 joined Campbell on stage, starting in 2010, as part of his touring band. His music career goes as follows. In 1960, Campbell moved to Los Angeles to become a session musician. That October, he joined the Champs. By January 1961, Campbell had found a daytime job at publishing company American Music, writing songs and recording demos. Because of these demos, Campbell soon was in demand as a session musician and became part of a group of studio musicians later known as the Wrecking Crew. In May 1961, he left the Champs and was subsequently signed by Crest Records, a subsidiary of American Music. His first solo release, Turn Around, Look at Me, a moderate success, peaked at number 62 on the Hot 100 in 1961 but reached number 7 on the Hot 100 in a 1968 Vogue's cover. In 1962, Campbell signed with Capitol Records. After minor initial success with Too Late to Worry, Too Blue to Cry, his first single for the label, and Kentucky Means Paradise, featuring Glen Campbell. A string of unsuccessful singles and albums followed. By 1963 his playing and singing were heard on 586 recorded songs. He never learned to read music, but besides guitar, he could play the banjo, mandolin, and bass. From 1964 on, Campbell began to appear on television as a regular on Star Route, a syndicated series hosted by Rod Cameron, ABC's Shindig, and Hollywood Jamboree. From December 1964 to early March 1965, Campbell was a touring member of the Beach Boys, filling in for Brian Wilson playing bass guitar and singing falsetto harmonies. In 1965, he had his biggest solo hit yet, reaching number 45 on the Hot 100 with a version of Buffy St. Mary's Universal Soldier. Asked about the pacifist message of the song, he said that people who are advocating burning draft cards should be hung. Campbell continued as a session musician, playing guitar on the Beach Boys' 1966 album Pet Sounds, among other recordings. In April of that year, he joined Rick Nelson on a tour through the Far East, again playing bass. Campbell and DeLory collaborated again on 1967's Gentle on My Mind, written by John Hartford, which was an overnight success. The song was followed by the bigger hit By the Time I Get to Phoenix later in 1967. In 1967, Campbell was also the uncredited lead vocalist on My World Fell Down by Sagittarius, a studio group. The song reached number 70 on the Billboard Hot 100. And in 1968 I Wanna Live in Wichita Lineman, remaining on Billboard's Top 100 charts for 15 weeks. He won 4 Grammy Awards for Gentle on My Mind and By the Time I Get to Phoenix. In 1968, Campbell released Wichita Lineman, a song written by Jimmy Webb. It reached number 3 on the U.S. pop chart, remaining in the Top 100 for 15 weeks. In addition, the song also topped the American Country Music Chart for 2 weeks, and the Adult Contemporary Chart for 6 weeks. In 1969 song True Grit by composer Elmer Bernstein and lyricist Don Black, and sung by Campbell, who co-starred in the movie, received nominations for the Academy Award for Best Song and the Golden Globe for Best Original Song. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, Campbell released a long series of singles and appeared in the movies True Grit 1969 with John Wayne and Kim Darby and Norwood 1970 with Kim Darby and Joe Namath. In the mid-1970s, he had more hits with Rhinestone Cowboy, Southern Nights, Sunflower US No. 39, written by Neil Diamond, and Country Boy. Rhinestone Cowboy was Campbell's largest-selling single and one of his best-known recordings, initially with over 2 million copies sold. Southern Nights, by Alan Toussaint, his other number 1 pop-rock country crossover hit, was generated with the help of Jimmy Webb, and Jerry Reed, who inspired the famous guitar lick introduction to the song, which was the most played jukebox number of 1977. From 1971 to 1983, Campbell was the celebrity host of the Los Angeles Open, an annual professional golf tournament on the PGA Tour. From 1982 to 1983, he hosted a 30-minute syndicated music show, The Glen Campbell Music Show. In 1991, Campbell voiced Chanticleer the Rooster in Don Bluth's live-action, animated film Rock-a-Doodle. In 1999 he was featured on VH1's Behind the Music and on A&E Network's Biography and a PBS In Concert special in 2001. He also appeared on a number of CMT programs, where he ranked among their greatest men of country music. He is credited with giving Alan Jackson his first big break after Jackson recorded with Campbell's music publishing business in the early 1990s. Campbell also served as an inspiration to Keith Urban, who cites Campbell as a strong influence on his performing career. Besides music, he also extends into movies, Campbell performing in Texas, January 2004. On August 19 the album was released. Meet Glen Campbell. With this album, he branched off in a different musical direction, covering tracks from artists such as Travis, U2, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Jackson Browne, and Foo Fighters. It was Campbell's first release on Capitol in over 15 years. Musicians from Cheap Trick and Jellyfish contributed to the album as well. The first single, a cover of Green Day's Good Riddance, was released to radio in July 2008. In March 2010, a then farewell album titled Ghost on the Canvas was announced, which served as a companion to Meet Glen Campbell 2008. In January 2013, Campbell recorded his final song, I Am Not Gonna Miss You, during what would be his last recording sessions. The song, which is featured in the 2014 documentary Glen Campbell, It'll Be Me, was released on September 30, 2014, with the documentary following on October 24. On January 15, 2015, Campbell and fellow songwriter Julian Raymond was nominated for Best Original Song at the 87th Academy Awards. In March 2016 it was confirmed that Campbell was in the final stages of Alzheimer's disease. Campbell's final album, featuring 12 songs from his final 2012 to 2013 sessions, was announced in April 2017. It was released on June 9, 2017. The story closes his life. Campbell died in Nashville, Tennessee, on August 8, 2017, at the age of 81. He was buried in the Campbell Family Cemetery in Billstown, Arkansas. What remains about him are memories that never fade away.